three parts to diversity. First, diversity is recognizing and appreciating the differences among people that surround us. These differences could be race, religion, gender, among other things. And it's important to acknowledge that there's a lot we can learn from these varying backgrounds and experiences. Second, diversity is about overcoming unconscious biases. Our own personal biases tend to influence decisions that we make, and educating ourselves on these biases enables us to act more objectively. The third and final aspect of diversity to me is the collaboration of these unique perspectives to overcome or to come up with the best ideas and solutions. I look at it as taking the concept of two heads are better than one to the next level by incorporating the perspectives of people that are different from us.
Diversity means to me is a collaboration of a diverse, a lot of differences in thought process, in experiences, because, you know, it's amazing. Every one of us, especially in the professional world that we're in, we bring to the table the breadth of our experiences from different industries, from different, work departments that we've been in, whether operations support or commercial or core finance. But then when you use the word finance too, there's a diverse experience of finance, from strategic planning to financial analysis to budgeting, forecasting. So diversity means to me is how do we collaborate and how we bring together all of these differing thoughts from different experiences, from different cultural background, from our own personal experiences too, onto the table so that we can all continue to learn. I'm a very curious person and I love to learn. So that's what diversity means to me, the ability to continue to collaborate many thoughts into, making 2 + 2 is 5, coming up with a better solution for everyone.
So what diversity means to me, it means many things. I think that the things that we all think of when we hear it, a well-balanced collection of individuals of all backgrounds, race, social, economical elements, religion, just that have all different learnings, experiences coming together for the greater good, right? And when I think of diversity, I think many of us knew what diversity was, if we're fortunate, from a very young age when we got together on a team, that was assembled to play sports or to do a movie or some kind of team event where the individual in charge, if you will, the manager, the leader, put together a team that was balanced, right? If you played a sport, not everyone was the scorer or the defender, right? You got together with a team that was balanced of different backgrounds, different experiences, even different ages, right? That's really important. So I think having a diverse group is certainly very important. It's what our clients expect, right? It's how we're going to succeed. And we're seeing it in all facets, the importance of it, from the team put together meeting with a client, what the client's office looks like, what the boardroom looks like. Certainly seeing a lot of progress on that and getting a diversified board together, corporations understanding the importance of that. I think the newer startups, the newer companies emerging are leading the pack on that as they understand what the importance of that is. But it's just a diversified experiences. Today, November 4th, is a festival of lights, right? It's a cultural, important day that many of us have grown to learn and understand and experience. I come from a different background where we celebrated holidays as Easter and Christmas, and now I've been able to share all these other experiences with colleagues. So diversity, it's doing the right thing because it makes sense. It makes all of us better. And it's how we are going to succeed as we interact with one another today, whether in the office or outside the office. with our family, with our friends, in our community, all aspects and elements, just how we're all going to succeed together, without a doubt. And I think it's been evidenced as we've come through this last year and a half, 2 years of this pandemic, the importance that we're all in this together.
Diversity means to me recognizing the value of bringing together different cultures, perspectives, beliefs. But to be clear, I want to say one other thing is that in my mind, diversity is just the first step in adding value to any conversation. So I really believe that the benefits come with inclusion. And so inclusion must be part of that conversation. And what I mean by that is that each one of us needs to recognize the value that individuals bring and also create an environment that is welcoming and that people will want to actively engage in.
Diversity to me is 100 impartiality. It is when everyone treats everyone else as an equal and respected human being who deserves to thrive and achieve the things in life personally and professionally, regardless of their background, or what they look like, or how they identify themselves.
I think initiatives such as Women in Treasury are important because they provide a supportive community for women with similar job functions. As women continue to make strides toward gender equality, such communities provide a safe place for us to encourage each other, inspire one another, and seek advice. For many companies, Treasury departments are often one of the smallest in terms of headcount, but they play a critical role in capital funding. Women are busy as is balancing work and family, and the new Within Hub provides a network of Treasury professionals at your fingertips, which can be very helpful when facing uncharted territory. And it becomes even more useful if you're able to connect with other Treasury professionals in your sector. I've established some strong connections with other corporate finance and Treasury professionals in the lodging REIT space and found these connections especially helpful throughout the pandemic. I would highly encourage everyone to reach out and get to know someone with a similar job function at a different company.
The initiatives such as Women in Treasury are important to me. It really comes back down to, I think what we're all hearing is the growing of the women in the workforce, right? Across the world. You know, anywhere you go, you know, there are initiatives from Japan to Nigeria to, you know, Western European countries to increase the representation of women, whether in board or in executive financial positions, or specifically what I call the Women in Treasury is bringing the network of women together so that we can network and mentor each other. You know, the world is getting smaller and smaller with the internet. And like today, I can speak to you through a Zoom and you can see me. You see my facial expression. You hear what I'm saying. So what better way to then continue to connect with each other, to mentor each other, to answer questions, to put together all of our diverse thoughts and backgrounds and experiences to make it better. So the Women in Treasury to me is an important network to bring all of us, to facilitate and giving us that chance to be able to come together and talk to one another and connecting with one another.
So why a group such as Women in Treasury is very important, right? We need a safe environment, a forum that is going to allow us to have these conversations, to nurture these thoughts, to bring together all the different individuals that can help us understand and further and better what we're talking about. So groups such as this, and I think Women in Treasury has been around, I want to say at least 10 years, and continues to grow and evolve and get stronger. Being able to pivot in this environment to do this virtual event. In the past, I've enjoyed doing it in person in New York City, in my home city here. But it's important that we have this environment that then we can take our views, our thoughts to other views, other panels, other organizations, not just female individuals, female-led groups. But it's important to have this as a gathering spot. And I think if you look over the past several years, there's been many of these forums coming together because of the need and the importance, whether it's a networking group, a place to work, right? A working environment. There's a number of those organizations in New York City. Luminary is one example that has sprouted up in the last several years. To just create an environment where it's safe to learn, to understand, to discuss, to ask the questions that you may think are silly or gee, I don't know and I need help with that, and to garner the experiences of so many individuals in a place that you may not have been able to do either in your work environment or your personal community. So I think the staying power has spoken to this organization in particular as we continue to grow and evolve and have these sessions and forums every year.
So I think initiatives such as Women in Treasury are important because it provides a venue to build connections, support for career advancement, and also opportunities to inspire the next generation of women in Treasury. Now, the Women in Treasury here in the Bay Area, the one that I founded, was founded based on trust and commitment. And to that, I think we really value the benefit of being a smaller size network. You know, it's just, we've been able to build the stronger relationships, being able to mentor each other, call on each other, and really it's about elevating each other. And so while the Women in Treasury has been in existence for 3 years, I'm most proud of what we've been able to do in 2020 and 2021. We didn't miss a beat. We moved to virtual meetings and we were very, very connected. We remain highly engaged and we even continue to celebrate each other's successes. So I think everyone should find a network where they feel comfortable and where they can actually contribute as well and give back to others.
Initiatives like Women in Treasury are extremely important because they continue to shine a light on the things we get wrong and the things that we do that we need to continue to do to achieve 100% impartiality. As humans, we need constant reminders to see things from someone else's point of view, and Women in Treasury helps us to do that.
This one is very near and dear to my heart. My 2 young daughters inspire me professionally. Growing up in a household of first-generation immigrants, I saw how hard my parents worked to provide for us, and neither one had a graduate degree. Both of my parents commuted an hour each way to work, and my dad worked side jobs as a mechanic so that we could live comfortably. I was the first in my family to complete a 4-year degree and eventually went on to get an MBA. Throughout my career, even before I became a mom, I always strived to advance my career for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to be in a position to provide my future kids with the things that I didn't experience as a child. And 2, I wanted my future kids to be proud of their accomplished mom. And now that I have 2 young girls, it's even more important that I lead by example to show my girls what it means to be confident and how hard work really does pay off.
So interestingly, I'm going to go back. Who or what inspire me professionally? So I'm going to go with both. The who. My mom, when we immigrated from Vietnam to the United States, she went back to school and basically got an accounting degree. She became a professional woman, and this was in the late 70s in the United States, having English as a second language, and then learning learning US GAAP. Everyone would laugh, very technical, but she learned it and she did it, and she did it with grit and professionalism, and yet at the same time brought the nurturing, how she mentored her coworkers, what I heard from her, how she mentored them, how she used her own background and her own experience to share and to promote others that worked around her. She inspired me how to be, a well-rounded professional woman. Um, and then what inspired me is just, today, all the different ideas that, I love participating in networking sessions like these so that I can learn from other women. I am so humble every day that I know I'm not alone in this world. In my journey as a professional woman, there are so many others who have done much greater things than me, and just the networking and our willingness to speak out and our willingness to connect and mentor one another. This movement inspired.
I think in today's environment, it's those such as ourselves where leveraging the platform that we have to make a difference, to be inviting, to bring in together others, to have discussions, right? To discuss the topics of the day, the challenges of the day. I think we saw, and certainly here in the US and globally, the George Floyd situation, leveraging platforms and environments to talk about that. I think the professional sports, that's professional athletes have done a great job to do that. Certainly corporations such as HSBC, leveraging our global platform to bring together organizations, different views, different opinions on topics and matters that are critically important for all of us. I think one example that's jumping to mind is the whole climate situation, right? Everyone's meeting in Glasgow this week. HSBC is leveraging our global platform to come up with a global solution to help our clients to invest in the right technology, to fund the resources from an intellectual standpoint, a capital standpoint, to move this topic ahead. So I think individuals, and it can be as small as mentoring, not small, but people think, oh, I just had a cup of coffee with a young person that graduated from university. That is so meaningful. I look back on my professional career, and it started out of college where an alumni was a member of a large bank in the United States at the time. The bank didn't recruit from my campus. He was able to get a number of us into that interview, and I was fortunate to be selected. And it changed the trajectory of what I did and where I moved. And I always think back to what Ed did for me, and I try to do that. So I think if we can all do a little bit, do our part, nothing is too small or too insignificant to make an impact and a difference in someone's life or someone's environment. And if we all do a little bit, we're all going to succeed together.
So, who inspires me professionally? I would have to start with my parents, my family. My parents instilled in me my work ethic since very young. In Peru, my dad was CFO of a company, and my parents also had their own real estate development company, which meant they worked late evenings and weekends. They did all of that while raising 6 daughters. And also, they did all of that with very little formal higher education. So, also being a first generation college graduate is something that really keeps me going. I'm motivated by that, by my curiosity and wanting to learn and always aim high. Now, when I moved to the United States, I also realized that I would have to work twice as hard because of a new language, because I'm a woman and I'm a Latina, but it actually even motivated me more. So I think that that's also part of what inspires me to continue on my career. And I'm always looking to, for ways to broaden my horizon. For example, stretching, looking for stretch assignments, looking for new roles, and creating other opportunities for myself or for others as well, right? Because it is all about paying it forward. So what inspires me, again, my parents, my family, what, who I am, what I represent, and what I might be able to do for others.
I'm inspired professionally by those who take the lead in making sure they are constantly kicking the tires and challenging themselves to create an environment where everyone feels like they belong and like they're respected and rewarded for who they are and what they bring to the table.
Florence Pourchet, head of Latin America for our investment banking platform at BNP Paribas and head of the ESG effort for the Americas. So yes, I think there's been a lot of progress in terms of women in senior positions in our industry. I've seen this particularly true in the ESG space, where a lot of women entered a few years back. At the time, it was a more functional job. Now it has become really totally front office and key in our discussions with clients. And we do have a lot of women who have senior positions at financial institutions in that space. And sometimes we have meetings with only women, which is totally unusual in the banking industry. But I think in that area, we do have a number of senior women, and there will be more to come. It's quite an interesting topic.